probably going to record this. So welcome, welcome, guys. I'm so excited because I've got a guest here. She was really probably, I mean, one of the first, I guess, outside of my market center person at KW that I really met, got to know. So, and I'll just tell you, just I mean, really quick, funny story. We were in Albuquerque, New Mexico, flying back. And I'm just starting to get to. We happen to be on the same flight for somehow. Can't remember. And you know the story, Samantha. A guy like in front of us started vaping on the plane, like midair, started vaping, and we're like, "What is going on?" There were like kids around us. So I told the flight attendant, "Hey," I kind of whispered to the flight attendant, "Hey, this guy has a vape, and there's kids around." So I was a tattletale, which is fine by me, you know.
It's our
And
civil duty.
I mean, yeah, right. Especially with kids and stuff. So we do that. People are, really glad that they talked to him. And I guess was it at the airport when we got out of the plane that he confronted us?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, he confronted us somehow. And then Samantha, you wouldn't expect just by looking at her now because she seems like the nicest, sweetest person ever. You just kind of like put your foot down and told him to back off. Like, do you remember that story?
I do, and I'm 5 foot. This guy was towering over me and actually taller than you, Richard.
Yeah, he was a big guy.
So, but he was really obnoxious, right? And he knew that it was one of us that told on him. So I think he was trying to verbally harass. He wasn't doing any physical. So I don't even remember what I said. It was just like, this is not fair. We should be targeted.
Or you just
So
say something like "back off."
yes, I did. Yes, I did.
So there you go. She's tough. She's tough, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you got to be tough if you've been in business for, the type of ups and downs that she has seen in real estate, just with the way that the economy was, the 2008 crash, all that stuff. I mean, what year did you get licensed and get started, Samantha?
I got licensed in 2003, 2004 region at the end of 2003. And I really started, I basically jumped in.
Yeah.
And in those times, the market was steadily going up. So think about 2019, that kind of market.
Okay, so and then I mean, look, you've seen it all. You've seen probably really two really very unique times with 2008 and 2020, 2021. There's very unique times. Did you expect anything like that before you started real estate?
Not at all. And by the way, I'm not that old. No, I did not expect that. I thought I was just going to get another job that was going to be fun and look at houses. I never thought about it. You're
Okay, so then
right.
take us back to what was life like before real estate?
Life before real estate, I was working a job at an internet company and the internet business was going down. So they said, okay, all of you people that are making websites, you are going to be on the phone and doing cold calling. And I thought, oh, I don't know. That's not what I signed up for. Anyways, it was inbound sales call in which people were registering for a accounting software, and I needed to sell them the latest tax table. And I remember I was kind of new, and the proudest day I had was that I sold 8 of them. But anyways, after I got my license, and I said, okay, sayonara, I'm gonna go. I'm no longer doing cold calling anymore. So that's the origin story. Very ironic because obviously in our business we have to do all of that.
Well, yeah,
So
I mean, you did a lot of sales. You sold this product. Now, was that your first introduction to sales? I mean, or did you even want to do
absolutely.
sales? It was you
Mm,
just thrown in the fire?
it was just thrown in the fire. It was a accounting software that somebody buys at the Dollar Tree for $1. And now I have to upsell them to something that's 19.99. So it was not fun. I got a lot of people yelling at me. And then you learn how do you manage that emotion of how do you calm people down, tell them the value of the tax table that for them to be
Yeah.
able to do their own taxes and then sell them that. So
Okay, so then when I mean, did somebody tell you, hey, get your real estate license? Did you see somebody else doing it? Like, how did that happen?
So, one of my colleagues right now, and he's actually my boss, my broker right now. He was just getting into real estate and he said, you know what? It might be good for you to get a license. You might be good. So I just went and got it. And then after I got it, I said, hey, who did you join? And so he joined Century 21. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to join Century 21. And at the time, it was one of the biggest brands. And I really wanted to join Remax because at that time, and I was in Irvine, it was the place to be at if you were in luxury or you were experienced. However, they rejected me. They said you needed 2 years of experience. So I went to Century 21 and they had a little bit of a training program. So that's where I ended up at the beginning.
Okay, and let me just rewind too, and please forgive me. So I just want to share Samantha is at a Keller Williams in Alhambra right now. She is KW executive. She's a great agent. She's a high producing agent. She's also the productivity coach there, so she's working with newer agents. She's also an investor in that market center. She's I would say, would you say that you're very Kellerized? Like you love KW, don't you?
I do, I do. And not to drink the Kool-Aid too much, but I believe, and not to jump forward, is that that's what made me change my mindset about me being real estate. So yes, I've been with KW since 2014, and it's been a really, really great thing for me to do. After, Century 21, and then I finally got to Remax. After Remax, I came to KW.
So you still went to
Absolutely.
Remax after 2 years. They said come
Yes,
back after 2 years, and you did that.
yes, that's the dream. Of
And then
course.
from Remax, what made you do KW? What happened there?
Well, somebody invited me to Mega Agent Camp, which is
Okay.
coming up this
Yes.
year, August, what is it, 17th?
Yep.
And I think it was life changing. So prior to going to Mega Agent Camp, I've never been to a convention, not a real estate one, nothing. And because in my mind, oh, it's just awards, and I'm not probably gonna get anything. So I've never been. However, Mega Agent Camp, also, when I arrived at Mega Agent Camp, the person recruiting me gave me a red book. So that's how I joined KW after I went to Mega Agent Camp and the Red Book. I finally decided this is where I want to be for sure.
Well, there you go, guys. Mega Agent Camp. It's coming up. Make sure you register for
Yeah.
that in San Antonio. So I think I'm going to see you there this year.
Yes,
And you're still
absolutely.
going every year. Okay, well,
Yes.
what was that first year like that in Century 21? You mentioned they had a little bit of a training program and you're learning the business. I mean, was it easy? Did you feel like, hey, this is a piece of cake? Was it difficult? Did you feel like, hey, what did I get myself into?
Probably the third one. What did I get myself into? So prior to real estate, I had a steady paycheck. And I remember my paycheck was about $1,000 each check. So it wasn't a lot. And it was probably my second job out of college. And the training program where I was at is basically contracts training. It was nothing about how do you build this like a business. It was nothing about mindset. It was just the RPA and not even the listing agreement, just the RPA, how to present an offer. And so with that, they send us out into the new world. And I started doing a lot of open houses. That was the biggest thing to do back then, and also door knocking, but I chose open houses. And it was very chaotic, not knowing what to expect. At one of my open houses, somebody walked in with their son. The son was probably mid 20s, and he came in with his dad, obviously, and they said, okay, we want this. Let's go write an offer. So off we go into my office to write an offer. And that was my first transaction. Somebody walked into, now that's not normal. It doesn't always happen. But the good thing is, my broker and my team leader was in the office, and that person that brought his son, he knew that I was new. The property was for 199,000 and it wasn't a lot of money for him. He was a wealthy guy from Newport Beach, and so went to the office, wrote up the offer, got it submitted. And after we closed escrow, I asked him, "Were you concerned that I was a new agent?" And he said, "Nope, not at all, because you have this brand behind you and I know that you have layers of oversight." So he said he wasn't concerned. But anyways, that was my beginning. But the hardest part was when that escrow closed. where was my next paycheck going to come from? So that was the hardest part, not having that constant paycheck or pipeline. And so then I had to go get the second one, but that was the hardest part. Even though that paycheck was probably around $4,000, and that was equals to four paycheck, but I still needed that consistency. And I understand that's what a lot of new agents are also looking for when they're transitioning between one career into real estate.
So you went in full time, no
Yes,
other job, no
no
other
other
source of
job.
income.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So that story that you shared about that first transaction, I
Yes.
have a few things to ask you about that.
Okay.
What made you, because I think this is something that more real estate agents need to do more often,
hmm
asking really basically for feedback. You ask
hmm
them, hey, were you at all worried? Were you at all concerned? And that's kind of a gutsy thing to ask as a new agent. What got you to even want to ask that?
Um, you know what? Growing up, my dad always said, when you do business with somebody, you got to know them, you got to be friends with them. So throughout the transaction, I got to meet everybody. I went to their house. I got to meet the grandma. I got to hug the mother a little bit too tight because she had breast cancer. She was just recovering. And I just, for some reason, remember because I hugged her too tight and she kind of but anyways, I got to know them really well. So I was able to have a honest relationship with them. And so
Yeah.
it was, I just wanted to grow and know where I need to improve. And of course, it's everywhere as a new agent back then.
Well, and also too, the other thing is you were a new agent, and sometimes we have this limiting belief. I think a lot of times as a newer agent that,
Yeah.
oh, you know what? Why would they choose me? Why would they even hire me? I'm a new agent. I gotta pretend that I'm not. So there is a, fake it till you make it. And I think there's some truth to that. There are times, and I think what fake it till you make it really ta is talking about confidence, not being a
hmm
poser and pretending, but you
Yep.
owned it.
hmm Absolutely. And you know what? I went to Cody Gibson's, you guys probably went to the Cody Gibson event recently. He actually said, fake it until you face it. And I was thinking, oh, that's exactly what I did with my first transaction.
Yeah.
And then
Good.
I wasn't a brand new agent anymore for the second transaction.
Exactly. Now you don't have to tell people that you're new.
No.
Right?
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
well, you also have a unique background. So Samantha is trilingual because you were
hmm
born in Taiwan,
hmm
right? And then how old were you when you moved out of Taiwan?
I was one, and then I moved to the Dominican Republic. And for most Taiwanese, they want to chase the American dream. Actually, for a lot of people, it's the American dream. So we couldn't come to America right away. So we went to the DR first because a lot of people use that as a jumping board. Except we actually didn't move here. My dad had a successful business in the DR, so we stayed. And I came here for college when I was 16, 17 years old. I'm so grateful to have grown up in the Dominican Republic, thinking back now, because
Yeah.
back then it was a poor country, but it makes me appreciate everything that we have in this country. Even we have washing machines and dishwashers and microwave. I know the basics, but
But
very grateful
but
to be here.
I mean, no, it's such a unique background because I think it does give you a lot of perspective. And
hmm
now at this time, now you're looking back, you're like, okay, well, I really appreciate what I have. So you're also trilingual then with Spanish, fluent in Spanish. I'm curious to know, I don't think I've ever asked you this. Have you done any deals in Spanish?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
So in 2008, when the market crashed, unfortunately, a lot of the people that were affected, well, I want to say that a lot of the people I knew that were affected were the Spanish speakers because they are the sweetest, most trusting people, and maybe they were not explained. That was part of the population that were victimized, basically. And so a lot of the short sales, the foreclosures was with my Spanish speaking clientele. I have this one family, the Lucero family that I met back then, and I've done 11 deals with them now, 11 transactions.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm very honored that they continue choosing me. And there's a few siblings in the family, and then now the third generation. So yes.
Good. Okay, so after transaction number one, I'm sure it's not always, rainbows and butterflies. Like, when did things start clicking for you? Was there a certain time in your life? Was there a certain team? Was there a certain thing that was happening where everything you're like, okay, I feel like I got this now. This is my career. I'm not jumping ship. I'm staying in this.
So in 2009, that's when I thought, oh, okay, I'm a real estate agent. This is for life. And that was the year that right after the crash, a lot of smart buyers jumped in because back then there was an $8,000 grant. So I was really busy in 2009. And what really made a difference for my that clicked in my mind as far as mindset, as far as, oh, this is my business. Because in 2009, I thought, okay, I'm a real estate agent. I identify as a real estate agent. The other mindset shift was actually after I joined KW and
Yeah.
I realized, okay, I need to plan, I need to have a pipeline. And that's when it clicked that, oh, I'm a business owner, not a real estate agent. So those were the two shifts that were a little bit bigger overall in my career.
I'm going to go a little bit, sideways here. We see, I hear a lot of people say that about KW, myself included. I
Hmm.
feel like when I came, a lot of things have changed for my life. I feel like I started real estate all
Yes.
over again in a sense because my
Yeah.
mindset wasn't like a business owner. My mindset was, great, I closed the deal. How long was this check going to last me before I get my other one? Let's just hope that it lasts me until I get
Absolutely.
that one.
Yes.
Why do you think why do you think not every agent sees that? Why are they still chasing other things? And granted, I'm not saying that, I mean, maybe I think KW was the answer for me. It may not be the answer for everybody, but what do you think
Hmm.
it is like in this day and age why people are just being so attracted to other bright, shiny objects, or like a newer agent doesn't really know what they should look for? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Well, for nowadays, definitely there's too many distractions. And the fact that in our business, the barrier of entry is so low. You just have to get your license,
Yeah,
right? I used to teach real estate licensing. All you need to do is take my 3 courses and then you can go and get your license taken. And you really didn't need to have any background in anything. So number one is the barrier entry. And so you just got to make sure that as an industry, we elevate ourselves into number one professionals and number
yeah.
two business owners. And I think that a lot of people don't understand that they need to be a business owner. When I say business owner, you got to plan, you have to have a pipeline, you have to do your P&L.
Yeah.
And so that's not a bad word, right? But you got to understand where you are. Um, that was kind of long answer.
No, no, yeah, and you work with a lot of newer
Mhm.
agents, and they're searching for, or maybe, I mean, and I'll tell you this: so many new agents that I meet, they go to ChatGPT, they go to Gemini, they say, "What
Yeah.
should I need? What do I need to learn as a new agent? What do I need to do as a new agent?" If you were to start all over, knowing
Hmm.
what you know now,
Hmm.
first 30 days, what does it look like for you? Like, give me an idea of what your schedule looks like. What are you trying to accomplish? What are you trying to learn? What are you looking for in those first 30 days?
Lead generation, absolutely. Writing down number one, start with your sphere of influence and call everybody up and not just, hey, I got into real estate or not just the text. Have an intentional conversation about real estate so people start getting to know you. Your mom, maybe your cousin, they know you as you, they don't know you as a professional real estate agent. So make sure that that conversation is very intentional and a
Yeah.
two-way conversation. Number one is fear. And then number two, just go start lead generating and creating conversation. And it's not just for new agents, it's for anyone that wants to build a business. Um, and when I talk about P&L, I wasn't just referring to the new agents, it's the experienced agents too. Sometimes they're just looking at cash flow, they're not looking at profit and loss, the big picture. But to get back, it's lead generation, lead generation, lead generation. That's all. As far as your schedule goes, let's say, for example, you are coming in full time, then you should be lead generating and talking to people 4 hours. And when I say 4 hours, there's this little timer that you should be using to time yourself that you're actually working 4 hours because I've sometimes life gets busy, right? You'll be lead generating and then you get stuck writing an email that's 10 minutes long. So then now you're not really lead generating for 4 hours. So you really have to be very intentional and very focused on just that short block of time. That's that's the
Yeah.
minimum, I think.
So, I mean, that I don't think that has changed from now or 2003. I mean, we can say a lot of things has changed because real estate agents are using AI. I mean, even
Yep.
social media, more
Yep.
videos and things like that. But really, I mean, even now you're saying 2026 is just calling people.
Yes, yes, you gotta touch somebody. Maybe not physically touch them, but you still have to communicate with them. AI
Yeah,
is not selling real estate. I know about that guy in Florida that sold a house using AI, but come on.
yeah,
Yes. So we still have to do the outreach and the human touch that AI cannot do for us, for
right,
sure.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, Samantha, here's a question for you. I mean, you've been through, okay, I'm not trying to make you feel old or anything, but over 2 decades of real
Yeah.
estate.
Hmm.
Do you think it's harder now than it was back then for a brand new agent? Or, excuse me, or things gone easier with tech and with the internet and with social media?
I would say that definitely easier because you can get your name out there really, really quickly and you can brand yourself and create that whatever image you want about yourself really quickly and you can go viral in seconds if you did it right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, very
absolutely.
true. Very true.
Yeah.
But could that also be what hurts some people too?
It could be that they're concentrating too much. And this is why we should be lead generating for 4 hours. And then in the afternoon, you could be working on your socials. And
Yeah.
if you're going to concentrate on social media, then really be intentional about it. Again, it's about focus and intention.
Yeah. Well, Samantha, I mean, you're around newer agents, you're around top agents and experienced agents, and I know some of the agents that are, in your office. You have like really great people there, by the way.
Mhm.
Every time I meet and talk to the agents there, I'm just like, man, like she's in a great environment. What do you think really separates agents, though? And what's going to separate them within the next 3 to 5 years? Like, what does an agent listening on this call, what do they really
Mhm.
have to do to be one of the people that are moving forward, that are making money in this business?
Well, I think that they need to regenerate. And that's what I learned. And very sadly, I wish I came to KW earlier because I came to KW 10 years ago. So after 10 years in the industry, I wish I came here earlier because I never understood what pipeline meant. You could be an experienced agent, and sometimes we'll meet these agents when we're showing, and they'll tell you, "Oh, I've been licensed for 35 years." But they maybe do one or two transactions a year. So it's just the length of their license, but really is how much business are you doing to sustain your life and getting what you want out of it? And so having a pipeline is number one, and having the right structure is number two. I'm working with an experienced agent, and we are restructuring his team so that they can become more efficient, right? And then also think about what is your end goal in real estate. Is it, do you have an exit strategy or what is it that you want? And be sure to really plan to that so that you can still be in business 3 years or 5 years from now.
Yeah. Well, just one more thing that I just want to know, like, tell us about a crazy deal. I mean, crazy client, crazy story, something that just went sideways. Did it still go sideways? Were you able to save it? Like, what happened? Like, give us a fun story.
So I'm not a movie star, so my stories are so. But for me, the really craziest deal is that it was my uncle's friend. They were doing a 1031. They needed to buy three transaction, and the wife was overly dramatic. And I think she was having an affair with the assistant. But anyways, that's not the story. The story is
That's
that
a
we were
story.
in we were in escrow, and thankfully the listing agent was from my same brokerage. It was a Remax, and we had removed all contingencies but she had decided after contingency removal that she didn't want it. And so I had to go beg the listing agent who was cussing me out. And thankfully, I begged my broker to talk to the listing agent, and we got out scratch free. No one was
Wow.
hurt. It was a lot of tears on my end. And so that's when I realized, oh, why am I so emotional? Because I didn't have a next deal, and that was all I got, and I was
Yeah.
depending on that paycheck. But my lesson learned is your team matters. And thankfully for my broker, who had, convinced her to return every penny of it. And yes, we got to buy another one, and she still has that property today. And number two is got to check our emotions. Real estate, sometimes nobody talks about it. It's about managing expectation and emotions for our clients, but also ourselves. So take a chill pill.
Oh, certainly. I mean, and I get it too. I mean, when you are just so anxious to close that deal
Yes,
because,
yes,
whether bills are piling up or, there's
yes,
certain things just to, even to prove to yourself, that
yeah,
energy starts showing with your
yes.
clients. What will be the key thing that I think that you would tell an agent about emotions? I mean, that's a little bit more maybe easier to understand than just manage your emotions. Well, some people have a hard time with that. Is there something that you can think of that you can tell somebody during those times that would help them?
You know what? It's really hard until you go through it. Tough it out. But really, we have to put it in a box and go on about our day because it's going to be emotional anyways. And I think for a lot of agents, you have to go through it and so that you can find your own management system. Not that we don't get stressed out nowadays, right? Richard, you probably get stressed out for other deals, but not to that level. And I
Yeah.
think it has to do with the all or nothing type of mentality. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, look, I think this was just such a good conversation, Samantha. I really appreciate you being on this call.
Thank you for
And guys,
inviting.
if you follow her on social media or wherever you want to follow her, was it Sam underscore is it Sam underscore realtor?
Sam underscore realtor one. Yes.
One, that's right.
Yes.
Sam underscore realtor one. And if you go to Mega Camp, you'll see her because I always try to find her at one of these conferences, and we've had the same maps coach also too
Yes.
for about 5 years. And Samantha, you
Yes.
don't know this, but we were talking about you the other day, and we're just
Uh-oh.
both talking about how far we both agreed that you've
Yes.
come
Yes.
since 2021 when we first met and you started
Yes.
being a coach.
Hmm.
It's remarkable. It really is.
Coaching has done a great deal for me. I'm very grateful.
Yes, I know. I love to hear that. So we're just so proud and happy to be in just this friendship. Really, really grateful
Yeah.
for it, Samantha. So
Thank
thank
you.
you for joining us. Thank you
Thank you.
everyone else for joining us.
I hope to
Uh,
meet you all, not just on Zoom, in
hey,
person.
come to our comedy night next week,
When is
June
it? Thursday.
18th in Hermosa Beach, guys. June 18th. Talk to your respective market centers. June 18th, $25 for admission, and 100% of that $25 goes to KW Cares, guys.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great one. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day, guys, and a great weekend.
Thank you,
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Samantha.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much.
Thank you.
We had a lot of people on the call.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.